And it all feeds into this particular conversation because yesterday in the evening, there were reports of gunmen, masked gunmen, allegedly abducting a presenter with Wuntumi TV, the one who's been identified as having falsely linked President Mahama to the helicopter crash. Then the arrest of the two who also allegedly made threats against the president and his wife. They say Obama Pukwase arrest and all. So let's tie it all together. What's happening within the space and these alleged arrests?
Nana, let me assure Miracles that when it comes to the rule of law, this government will do everything within its power to honor the underlying principles of the rule of law. That being said, we are in a period of mourning. It does not mean that every aspect of the state, especially its investigative arm, must also be frozen because the state is mourning.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And so the actions of the security forces are not in any way undermining the mourning period. Because you agree with me that if care is not taken and we divert our attention fully to the funeral activities, the state will become vulnerable and all manner of attacks are likely to be thrown at us.
Yeah.
So our security agencies are professional or ought to be professional bodies who are still going about doing their daily work. And for me, I think that it is not out of the ordinary. Where I agree with him in principle has to do with the modus operandi of these security agencies.
The nature of arrest.
Yes, but it did not start today. And it pains me to say that it appears that even civil servants within these outfits have decided to take we, the political class, for granted because of our own actions. Because if you get power and you decide to use them in ways that are not professional, and there's a change of power, there are definitely going to be elements within these security outfits who also owe their allegiance to a particular political party. So if care is not taken, they are also likely to behave in ways considered retaliatory.
Yeah.
That may be outside even the hands of the political class. So it is not just a caution to this government, it must be to all of us. And I am terribly surprised that my brother appears to have found his voice as far as these untoward happenings are concerned. Remember Albert Hyde, Bongo Ideas or so.
Yeah.
The manner in which he was picked up. A number of them.
Yeah.
In opposition, many of us raised red flags and said that this was a dangerous precedent. We are just coming from a past where even practices among Ghanaian journalists was a problem. A journalist of this country gunned down in broad daylight. Up till date, we are unable to produce any meaningful investigative report as far as that cold murder is concerned. That is the kind of legacy we left as politicians, irrespective of the political party you belong to.
Yeah.
That is the kind of dangerous precedents we have set. But thankfully, I am sure that these concerns by now would have gotten to the attention of His Excellency President Mahama. And we know, indeed, there are many journalists who did works against President Mahama who came out subsequently to espouse his reverence for freedom of speech and how he even protected them when they were doing works against him and sought to compare that with the new patriotic parties regime, especially under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. What they went through, Manasseh Azure is a living testimony of that comparison. So we are dealing with a president who privileges the rule of law over mere partisanship. And that should give us hope. And I agree with him that when it comes to the way that many, especially the national security, sometimes when it comes to their operational mechanisms, how they go about carrying out arrests is something we all must look at.
Yeah.
It didn't start under this regime. It started even in the last regime. In fact, it was happening in the last regime. But yes, this government has promised a reset. And so there is a need for us to look at the manner of arrest, especially when it comes to breaking and entering people's houses at midnight. It is something that I cannot, in all honesty, defend on any platform. As a member of a government and an associate of a president, I know privileges freedom of speech and will do everything within his power to protect it. So we must understand that in the collective, we actually need to look at the modus operandi of the national security when it comes to arrest. I agree with him. If care is not taken, criminals will take advantage of that. But all these beautiful arguments that Dennis is advancing today, these were arguments he should have advanced even when they were in power. Probably we wouldn't have been having this discussion. But you see the way I'm speaking? If he had done a little of that
when he was in power,
I'm sure we wouldn't have been here. But I'm speaking this way, being able to express my view and to call on us to intervene in the way we carry out some of these arrests, especially when it comes to national security, because I know the kind of president I represent on this platform. And I know I will not have a problem after living here. Indeed, he will pat me on the back for actually bringing his attention and the attention of the government to some of these excesses. If we had all adopted that kind of posture in the not too distant past, I'm sure we wouldn't have been here. And that is the beauty of the National Democratic Congress and the beauty of the president we speak for. Because we are allowed to make informed contributions as to how the governance of this republic should go, especially for those of us who are relatively young. Whatever future we build, we would be part of that future. That is the more reason why we must not mince words in calling for the necessary actions to be taken in our quest to reform our country. But Nana, I do not think that it is outside the investigative remit of the CID to arrest, what do you call her on TikTok?
The Fanti.
The Fanti whatever. I have never come across her on TikTok. If you are making accusations to the effect that His Excellency President Mahama and Lordina maybe or probably had a hand in what happened, and you have heard on national television, the Ghana Army has indicated that they are going about doing their investigations. The CID is doing its investigations. It is only proper for you to be picked up. Because probably you would have had vital information that would be beneficial to the investigative process.
Based on the allegations you have
Based on the allegations that you are leveling. So if you are picked up, it falls in tandem with standard procedure when it comes to the CID's operations. The CID can elect to invite you or arrest you to provide information. It is within their right. So based on information available to them, they can decide to make a determination as to which particular modus operandi to adopt when it comes to your allegations. So I do not have any problem or whatsoever with the CID's decision to arrest these gentlemen. Absolutely not. I don't. Because we must begin to ensure that we are responsible in our utterances in this country. The fact that you have a 2 cedis bundle data and access to social media does not mean that we should take the country for granted and run all sorts of commentaries when it comes to our republic under the guise of freedom of speech. So I don't think that there's nothing outside the law when it comes to what the CID has done. But where I agree with him is the decision to break, especially by national security, into people's homes to arrest them.
And we have some of the pictures on the screens now.
Yes, that one is a bit worrying. It can happen to all of us. Criminals undoubtedly can take advantage of such a practice. I agree. But we must be honest and say that it didn't start today. But the onus undoubtedly lies on this government to end that practice. Because we have promised a reset agenda. And I can assure you that the government will take action. The minister responsible for national security, the Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, will undoubtedly act on this matter. There's the need for us to reorient the operational mechanisms of our national security, especially when it comes to arresting civilians.
True.
I think that this is a work that the police CID would have been able to do without national security interference.
Exactly.
And so, like I indicated, that is the legacy that they have left. And in 7 months, this government will not be able to reform these institutions. It is work in progress. But this undoubtedly will propel the National Security Minister to act and ensure that we bring these things to an end. It is unacceptable, clearly unacceptable, irrespective of what the gentleman said. I believe that the CID would have been in a better position to arrest.
Right.
But I am not a security person, and I do not know the kind of information national security is
intelligence was
the intelligence that they have gathered, and they decided to go the way they went. In the ninth, and taking him out forcefully. I do not have the intelligence. But like I said, it is something the National Security Minister must look into. Because irrespective of whatever they might have said, there are laws in this country that we can take them through without creating drama. Because each and every one of us, this can happen to us. So I agree with him on that basis, that there's a need for us to tone down. But this is not the work of the political class.
Yeah.
Like I've indicated, that is the culture that we have inherited, especially in the last 8 years when they were in charge. And so it will take time for us to reform it. We must all be frontal in terms of dealing with these issues. But Dennis, let me give you the assurance that on this call, the NDC will join you for us not to engage in acts that clearly puts the lives of all of us in danger. So we would not go the way you went. Because even the challenge to express your views then and to call your government to order, I did not hear you. I am a religious follower of your politics as a young person.
Let me take a few messages.
So this...
Let me just make a point that you take the messages.
No, am I done? I'm done. I think I wanted to land. Please allow me.
It's okay.
Please allow me to land. So I think that
you've had enough
that
time.
is the difference on this table. We as a political party, when we feel that certain things are out of the way, we are bold enough to confront it and bring the attention of government to it to act on. The NPP must begin to have that culture.
Very well. Very well. Very well, Hamza. Thank you.